Hey, YouTube. Well, just this morning, when I was talking about something else, I was saying in the video I made earlier that I wanted for a long time to discuss this issue of attraction. And then I saw just after that someone's actually taking on the subject on their live. So I'm talking about the Armon Wiggins show. He's a popular YouTuber. He's got a long title. Okay. So the title of his video for today was "The Key to Happiness and Success for a Gay Black Man is to Marry White." That's not a statement. That is him asking a question, and it is the title. So he's and he's got it. Got to deal with these glasses. He's got a guest on there, which is the primary part of the video, which I think they're still going. So they're still on there. He's taking calls now, and but I think I have what I need for this conversation, right? So the adult star, which means he does porn, Jason Zhu, who has a white lover. He's been positive since he was 16 years old. And he did mention that his mom was also positive. But he didn't get it from her, obviously. He was 16 before he actually got it. So he got it separate from his mother. Right? Because there are some people who are born with HIV. He's not one of them. Okay. Okay, so it's basically about, they start off with talking about attraction. Very soon they veer off into porn and HIV and PrEP, which are all total different conversations, and also BDSM, which is S&M sex. So they veer off into those things, but the part I want to focus on is the attraction. Some gay men are attracted to white men. Now, of course, this applies to straight people too. Some black women might be attracted to white men, although I think it's less frequent, and vice versa. Some Chinese people might like Mexican people, and on and on and on. People like what they like, right? But these guys, the question seems to ask, what they're saying is that this is some kind of political statement or financial statement, like you decide I'm going to be attracted to a certain kind of person because they make more money, or I think they're more intelligent, or there's some political reason that I want to be attracted to this certain kind of person, or I'm pro-black, so therefore I must get attracted to black people. I think, well, maybe for some people that is their motivation. But for me, attraction is attraction. You're attracted to what you're attracted to. Like, for instance, I can make any statement I want to make about me being homosexual, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm homosexual. I didn't choose to be homosexual. I simply am, right? Now, if there are certain kind of foods, you eat it, you love it. You didn't make a decision to love it. You just love it. You're attracted to that certain kind of food or whatever. Let me not get off track here. Okay. So I've had this discussion before. I think Funky That Neighbor talked about it a couple years ago, and I went on extensively about my personal history, and I think I'll even attach that video to this video. It made a couple years ago, but I was talking about attraction. Myself, I haven't had sex in 9 or 10 years. I haven't had sex, not because it was some big decision I made. It's just something that I'm just not strongly motivated to pursue anymore, right? And but my attraction is the same. I'm attracted to the same type of people that I was when I was having sex, right? So for me, and I did get more involved in this when I talked about Denise a couple years ago, about my personal background, my personal history. A lot of times you see somebody and you say, why does she only like white men? Oh, she's sellouts. Oh, she's trying to get rich. Oh, she's snobbish, or all the different things. Never actually wondering, why is this person attracted to that man? And I think it's interesting. It's highly personal. You have to go really deep For me, I was aware of the kind of guys I was attracted to before I knew what gay was. In other words, at about 8 years old, I believe I was around 8, slightly before I started recognizing that I was gay. I mean, I didn't know what a gay was, but there was a show came out. This show was called The Monkees. I think the show was produced in 1968, and so I would have been 10 years old. I was born in 58, right? I was attracted to, from what I remember, I was strongly attracted to a couple of those guys, right? Before I was attracted to guys in general. And I think that woman, Dr. Ruth, said something profound. She said she was trying to talk about homosexuality and about people being exposed to homosexuality first, therefore they become homosexual, which I don't agree with that at all. But I do think there's something to the first people you're attracted to. First you covet, long before you have it, right? Anyway, so I like these Monkees, right? I started discovering myself at around 8. The Monkees came on at 10, so I was still curious, even at 8 years old. But the Monkees, I think that came on in 68, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so I started liking those guys, right? I'm not lying to you. I am attracted to pretty much the same kind of guys right now. I don't have sex no more, but I'm still attracted to those that stay with me for an entire lifetime. When I went through, and my point is that it was an actual attraction. It wasn't because I wanted to get more money or I wanted to have a better lifestyle or any of those reasons. It wasn't a reason. I was genuinely attracted to those persons. I'm turned off by people who like people for a reason. I don't like that. But I do recognize that some people are attracted to people outside of their own race. It's just the simple fact. In the gay community, we all know, well, I'm not going to use any of those terms, but with snow queens, and then they have all different kind of queens. People like a different certain type, and it seems like many people only like one type as far as race goes. Now, there are people, coincidentally, most of the black guys I know now, today, who are still sexual, they like more than just one race. So they like white guys, Latin guys, black guys. They like guys. They like men. So that is something I wasn't exposed to early on in life. When I came out, I was 19 years old. I moved to West Hollywood. West Hollywood was a predominantly white ghetto. They talk about ghettos here, but they're talking about race ghettos. I'm talking about a white ghetto where everybody's gay, right? Right. So most of the guys that I was exposed to at that time liked a certain type of person. It was not uncommon. But what I'm saying is this. You don't choose what you're attracted to. You're just attracted to it. So at 10 years old, we keep going back and forth now. At 10 years old, I know I was attracted to these white guys. There's certain features I liked. Now, there was drama in my home. There was violence in my home. My home life was dangerous, violent, and my escape at that time was television. So I was raised on television, more so even than being raised by my parents, in my opinion. And I think that the contrast between what was going on at home, what was going on television, might have formed my type or my taste. This was the second year of busing in Indiana, right? Second year of busing. What? No, busing started when I was in high school. But there was a different kind of busing as a young person. As a young person, we lived in projects, right? And the projects, of course, projects of poor people and predominantly black people. Predominantly, not exclusively. But they were always located in white neighborhoods. So even before busing, our schools were interracial. And many times there were poor blacks and middle-class whites were what was in our schools. So I remember, I'm just trying to go from memory here, when I entered this school, and there was no sex involved. We're talking about a child here. when I went to this school that had white kids and black kids, I was always attracted to the white kids. White guys. Years before there was any sex. I found it fascinating. So I think a lot of it is just what you're exposed to, right? Like in San Francisco, let's take for instance, right now. In San Francisco, it is not uncommon at all to see white men with Asian women. I'm not trying to be, stereotypical or nothing like that. But there's something you see a lot of here. Why? Because there are a lot of Asian people in San Francisco. Right? We try to remember the demographics. A third, 33 and a third percent of the people in San Francisco are Asian. Correct? Which means these people would be going to school together, they would know each other, and it's just from the environment. You covet first. Let me see. Now I'm gonna go back again. Let's go back a few more years again. See, I've been chomping at it a bit to discuss this thing, but right now there's just so much information in my brain because I haven't really expressed it. Anyway, so I reject the idea that people are just attracted to people for financial reasons or because they become famous and so forth. Granted, a lot of people, they get money, they get successful, and they end up with Caucasian people. I don't know anything about that. I never had no money. I was attracted to who I was attracted to, and I'm just saying that it was from early on, way before sex. Correct? When I got to high school, it was the same situation. This was forced busing. This was, I don't know what it was, 74 or 5, something like that. Second year of busing. So there again, we had a white high school, and then we were bused. We weren't living in the projects anymore, but the black neighborhoods were merged with the white neighborhoods, but we all went to the same high school. So I still had the same exposure. There was always this racial thing going on with me. Never acted on any. I didn't even know any white people. I mean, in your class you say hello, but that was about it. Because even though we were all in the same schools, we didn't really interact or intermingle that much. Not very, at least in my experience, we didn't. You don't want to hang around with white people. Then you can't be white. People still tend to be pretty much tribal, right? So all through my life, I knew mostly black people. This had nothing to do with anything other than my physical, sexual attraction. Correct? All right. So I came out at 19 years old, moved to L.A. As I said, I moved to West Hollywood, and I actually start having sex. Same kind of guys. I had been coveting since I was a child. I was now an adult, a young adult. And that's who I was attracted to and stayed that way. Had nothing to do with money. I think that's the cop out. People always say, oh, yeah. Like RuPaul. Now, wait a minute. Be quiet, baby. If RuPaul wasn't successful, didn't have any money, does that mean her husband would be black automatically? Would her type be any different because she has money and success? No, I don't think so. Poor people have types. I mean, it's not like we're not. People they're attracted to what they're attracted to, and I do think there's a correlation there. It's just like your sexuality. A lot of black people, and I counted this all through my life. Oh, why don't you like your own type? Oh, that's a problem. Like they're going to decide for you who you're going to like. Now you could put that person in a room naked with a black man, but if you're not attracted to them, they're not attracted to them. That's just simple as that. You can't make yourself be attracted to somebody. If you're making yourself be attracted to somebody for some reason, some financial gain or something, then you're prostituting yourself. It's a prostitution. That was never the case for me. Anyway, let's get back to these gentlemen for a minute here. Okay. They saying, oh, you saying the black men are less attractive? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's who you're attracted to. If you like Latin men, Ricky Ricardo on Lucy, if he attracted you, you were attracted to him, and you find yourself as an adult still attracted to that kind of man, that's what you like. That's who you're going to be with. I remember I only had a couple of partners. I had 2 partners and 1 boyfriend. I'll call him a boyfriend, but he was the longest of all of us, right? You can always buy my book, Meth Monster, and I went through this stuff in detail. Anyway, available at Amazon.com. What was I talking about? Something about before I got to my partners. Yeah. When I first got to West Hollywood, and it was a white ghetto, right? I mean, it was a beautiful neighborhood. There's nothing ghetto, like we think about ghetto as something negative, something black, something minority. They were ghetto. I call it a gay ghetto because it was all gay people there, right? All the stores catered to gay people. Everything was gay. In most cities, most big cities have those. I now live in the Castro, which is gay ghetto. Things have changed quite a bit since back then. But now the city that I live in now has gotten so expensive that a lot of black people have moved away, kind of thing. So this neighborhood didn't really change all that much. But like I was saying, when I got to try to stay on track, Timothy, work hard. Yeah, before I got with my first partner. At first, I didn't want to be with a white guy in the bars, in the clubs. And I was 19 when I got there, but we could still cheat and get into the bars a little bit. There were a couple of them that can get in. 19, 20, right? I didn't want to be with a white guy who I saw like only black guys. I thought somehow this was this man's fetish. I didn't want to be anybody's fetish. I didn't understand. I was a young person, right? I wanted something, a catch, somebody who only wanted me. But that was foolish and childish. Because just like I was attracted to white guys, the guys who would be attracted to me would be attracted to black guys. You have to like each other. When I got my first lover, we were both 20. He liked exclusively black men. I liked exclusively white men. We came together. But you have to be attracted to the person, right? We were together a couple years, 2 years, 2 years. That was a long time at that time for 20-year-olds, right? But and I would still have black guys occasionally. Sometimes we had 3-ways, and it was always difficult. It was always odd because a person who was attracted to me wouldn't be attracted to him, and vice versa. If they were attracted to him, they wouldn't be attracted to me. So finding the person who was mutually attractive to both black and white guys was an unusual occurrence. So didn't happen all that much. When I broke up with him, I went with another guy who was a white guy who liked black guys. You know, it's not a negative thing. People say, "Oh, that's a fetish. Oh, you're a fetish." Well, aren't I doing the same thing to him that he's doing to me? Aren't I liking him based on physical characteristics? So it's mutual, and I think it has to be mutual. So we didn't have any race problem. We had, regular problems of guys together and all that kind of stuff. We never had race problems. This person, neither one of them ever say anything that was racist to me. We had one fight and something. The person was trying really hard to hurt me. But as a general rule, the second one I lived with for several years didn't come up. He happened to love black men, and I happened to love white men. At the time, it worked out beautifully. There was, what did these guys say? There was an incident, though, because then we mixing. Like I said, all my friends were black. I'm still a black man. Still am. And all of his friends were, of course, white, or pretty much most of them. The ones that were the friends that he had that were black, I had an attitude with them because I knew that they had probably been with him. He was a very sexual type person, so mostly I knew his white friends. There was one incident where this guy who was his best friend, who was a racist person, and he wasn't introduced to me as a racist person, although I was taken aback. But this guy, when he would come over our apartment, where we both paid rent, and he would say things like "Uba Gooba." That man that was a racial slur intended for me. But he thought I was so stupid, I guess. I was 22 years old. It went over my head, but it didn't. But as far as I know, that's the only incident where I encountered that. where, and years later, I would say that I always resented that I didn't attack, beat him up, or certainly confront him about his racist comments, and my lover about allowing it to happen. I didn't, and I regret it even to this day. I should have told that dude off then. I was a grown man. I was a young guy. I let it pass, but it stuck with me. Let's see what else these guys talked about. Okay, they talk a little bit about language, about if a person says something is ghetto, that is racist. But what about gay ghettos, which is something I mentioned a minute ago? These are ghettos too. They're not ghettos because of financially, because they're bad neighborhoods. Usually they're very excellent neighborhoods, but they're predominantly white men, and specifically white men. Remember now, half the population are women, but most of the gay ghettos I've seen cater mostly to gay white men. I saw that in Los Angeles. I see it here in San Francisco. I saw it even in New York City. Right? We lived for a short time in New York City. Okay, so it's a different kind of ghetto. It's still a ghetto. It's still you're saturated with only your own kind, right? So in my 20s, I didn't know any straight people. Only straight people I ever even came in contact with were people I worked with at work. But as far as my personal life, I stayed in West Hollywood, never left it. So that's a ghetto as well, right? Okay, so these guys, they drifted off. Good God Almighty, I've been talking 21 minutes. Okay, so I just feel like your trash is not something you choose. You just are attracted to what you're attracted to. I went to a seminar about this on this subject, and there was a guy I remember saying that he was sexually stimulated by Aqua Velva, I believe was the thing, or that what was that little cologne that had a ship on the front of it? It was a white bottle. Anyway, this had nothing to do with race. I don't even remember what color this dude was. But his father used to use that when he was a baby. He used it his whole life. I don't remember. Old Spice. Old Spice. Anyway, his father used to use that. Loved his father. Father died early in his life. But he was always sexually aroused by that cologne. I'm sure he would not choose to be aroused by a damn cologne. Nevertheless, that's what he liked. You'll see some guys, and here we section ourselves off. Some guys like what they call bears. Race doesn't matter. They only like They only like big men. Sometimes it is associated with fathers, but we don't know. We're not psychiatrists here. But they only like big men, and sometimes they're skinny men who only like big men. They like hairy men, and they can't have sex with anybody else. That's just their type. You took them a skinny, little athletic kind of guy, they had no interest in that. That's what attraction is. You know, you like what you like. People like various races, but there are also body types that they like. Right? So here they have a whole community. Bears, big men. Some other people might find that person that unattractive, say you're overweight. There are people who love it. That's their type. Right? Some people like younger people. Not everybody. Not everybody likes younger people. Some people cannot be turned on by no 20-year-old guy. You know, they like somebody 30s to 40s. But if you watch them for a long period of time, you'll say, well, damn, every time he's with a guy, the guy's 20 years older than him. That's his type. That's what he likes. He didn't choose that. It simply is the fact. All right, so I went on and on and on. So now, it's not always that you're trying to make some kind of political statement, financial reason. It's not necessarily so that people get wealthy and then they become attracted to white people. Many of those people were attracted to them even when they were poor. And if the other guy was poor. As young people, we were all poor. Nobody had any money. And they still had a type. Most people, if they be honest, they have a type, something they like. Even amongst black people. Now, you know good and damn well that there are black people who like light-skinned people. Some people who are dark-skinned, they want a dark-skinned person. They're turned on by a dark-skinned person. When they're aroused by a dark-skinned person. A light-skinned person does nothing for them. It's attraction. It's attraction. So I said all that. These guys, they went into other conversations. They talked about PrEP. As I said, they talked about PrEP, porn, HIV, BDSM. And then the last thing that I saw on with Armon, I hope he didn't mind me piggybacking off of his interview, but he said some black people, when they start dating white people, they change. I don't believe that either. I believe there are some black people who are just assholes. And they would be assholes if they were black or if they were white people. There are black people who are very, what do you call it when one person is rich, one person is poor? Anyway, bougie. They're bougie people, right? They would be bougie people if they had a black woman or a white woman. That's their personality. I don't think it changed because they with a different race of people. I think you are who you are. Your personality is established long before you get to be an adult. You know what I'm saying? So there are people who are, oh, God damn it, I can't get that word. Oh, fuck it, it's gone now. Anyway, people who are materialistic, they would be materialistic if they were poor, if they were rich. That's their personality. So I don't think they're changing because it was a white person. And stop thinking, people, that you can dictate what somebody else is supposed to like. Because as gay men, we should supposed to like women. Now, how are you going to make that work? You're a gay male, and people are dictating to you, oh, no, that's not right. You're supposed to like a woman, a black woman. You can't just choose, okay, I'm going to like women now. I'm going to like black women now. It's not how it works. You like what you like. You should be free to like whoever you like. We're not in the 30s, 40s, 50s. Just right now, choose who you like that person. Okay, people, I'm sorry about my rambling. I know I've been all over the place, but there's just so much in my head, I think, rushing into my brain. My brain don't work that well. Right? Okay, you guys check out this Armon Wiggins interview if you're interested in the subject. I'm going to post the interview that I did with, the video that I did about Funky Dineva. And I talked more about this attraction thing a couple of years ago. I'm going to post that in the comments. In the description. Okay? All right. Y'all can get on there. Haters, mount up.